So the shift that happened in crypto this week was subtle, but a lot of people are saying it's one of the biggest things that's happened in the history of cryptocurrency since 2009 and Satoshi released Bitcoin into the world. Let's have a hear from British Hodl, who says there's not a single day where Bitcoin has performed up while the Nasdaq, the US stock market, went down over 5%. We have crossed the Rubicon, for great name for a YouTube channel, for traditional finance, which is the stocks and the bonds, and Bitcoin today. A separation is starting to occur. And this image by Watchaguru makes it very clear, because on the left, we have $3.25 trillion wiped out from the US stock market in one day. Everything red. Well, not quite everything. There's a couple of green things in there, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But $5.4 billion was added into the crypto market. This is the big universal realignment with truth. Michael R. Sullivan says, I've already watched this clip 12 times, and I assure you I'm not the only one. A ton of money managers, traditional finance people, and older generations deeply respect this guy. This is the shift. The people who were traditional finance, who do run the world and do have all the money, are finally migrating over to the crypto world. Why? Because it's just superior technology and they can get extremely wealthy when they do. That's why we just want to beat them there. Ray Dalio was right. There's a change in world order. Now, what is or who is Ray Dalio? Well, Ray Dalio is one of the biggest hedge fund managers in the world. Extremely wealthy, but has been able to predict the market accurately. And his thesis is that empires rise and empires fall. You had the Dutch Empire, the English Empire, now you got the US Empire. His theory is that the US Empire is on the precipice of falling. But his theory is that China is next to take the crown. And he's got a big book on this and a lot of educational content online on it. However, Michael R. Sullivan and a lot of other people, including Balaji Srinivasan, don't know if I said his name right, but something like that, believe it's not China that's going to be taking the crown and becoming the empire of the world. It is going to be a digital empire of Bitcoin. And this guy here, I actually don't know who he is, but he's on the Tucker Carlson podcast, and apparently he's a big deal, says that gold used to be a store of value, and now Bitcoin is quickly becoming a store of value. This is the big shift, the crack in the matrix. And people are thinking, it's time. We've been waiting almost 15 years for this institution and national adoption of this asset. And it's happening right now. I'm not going to read you this whole tweet, but if you want an in-depth look at this theory, come and read Luke Broyles' thread here on Twitter. You can see the takeaways from it, however, is that everything that's not backed by Bitcoin, not backed by the best store of value, the hardest asset, the only scarce asset the universe has, is going down over the long term. And Bitcoin and everything that is backed by Bitcoin, like being backed to a gold standard, but even better in the digital age, is going to go up and eat all of the value of the world. Michael Saylor says, today's market reaction to the tariffs is a reminder. Inflation is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what why a lot of people buy Bitcoin is they're like, oh, because there's no inflation and we don't want to lose 12% to monetary inflation every single year. Let's put it in Bitcoin and therefore not have to lose that value of our money. However, he says that is just the tip of the iceberg. Capital faces dilution also from taxes, from regulation, from competition, obviously from tariffs, from obsolescence and unforeseen events. Bitcoin offers resilience in a world full of hidden risks. And even Vivek Ramaswamy says that it's becoming increasingly clear that Bitcoin is the hedge. And Joe Burnett accurately points out, if Bitcoin actually decouples from every other asset in the world and just starts going north and eating up the value of every asset from real estate to oil to bonds to stocks, we enter the end game, the Bitcoin singularity, where we go exponential. And here on the channel, we track the best traders and the biggest influencers in the world, because not only do we want to ride the Bitcoin wave, the wave of truth sweeping the universe that people are only slowly realizing. I saw a graph this morning of the adoption of horse and cart versus motor vehicles, and it took like 30 years for motor vehicles to actually cross and become more predominant than horses. I'm like, oh, that seems like an insane amount of time. I would have thought in my mind it was like 3 years until it swapped over. But this is the patient path that we're all walking with the latest technology of Bitcoin. And if you want to play it with leverage like we do here on the channel, because we have seen people take $3,000 and turn it to $2 million like Crypto Go John, we go down the risk curve into the altcoins, the meme coins, and the low caps. But I personally I'm not an expert on these things. However, I like to follow the experts. So I want to show you 3 experts that have had insane results. Alex Becker, Luke Belmar, and Murad, all making $10 million plus in crypto. I want to show you what their thesis is right now based on the decoupling, and also which of the altcoins or microcap coins, I'm going to do one each, are they investing in. So starting with Alex Becker. Alex Becker says, this is a completely manipulated crash that can be reversed at will, which is why you've seen big money buying Bitcoin and Ethereum like never before in the last few months. They are stacking for a reason. We're going past the moon, straight to Mars. Loop says banks are literally buying Bitcoin in $25 million chunks. Alex Becker says, yep. He basically says the big banks, the institutions, the government, the nations are all buying and the retail money is selling. Don't be the dumb money, be the smart money. And he put a video out this morning, which basically talks about which tokens he's bullish on. He talked mainly big cap tokens. However, his strongest thesis at the moment is AI because of the rise of the demand for GPUs going to be too much for centralized GPU farms, and they're going to need decentralized GPU farms, which is utilizing crypto. And then he talks about the right protocols will ride this narrative and get you 50x's plus. And in my opinion, Alex Becker throws around 5 to 10 tokens at once, but they're not all equal. And one of the strongest tokens in the AI world that he throws around, I believe, is Desync or Destra. And he threw this at the end, 30 minutes into his video down here. He said Destra is a strong AI play. However, he's understating how exposed he is to Destra. He says, there is not a more blatantly bullish easy mode chart mid-cap AI than Destra, held hard AF through the last dip. The chosen child of the degen cheeky big booty mid-cap gains in AI has begun its next ascent. He calls it the chosen child, even the golden child, or the chosen children of fate cannot stop, will not stop, never stop. He even has a tweet saying that Destra is his biggest AI bag overall. And have a look at what price this was at. This is at a 40 cent. Coming over to Destra here, you could say either 1, he was wrong and don't buy in, which is fine if that's how you want to play it. Or 2, the thesis is still the same or maybe even stronger now, having the latest ChatGPT release be absolutely mind-blowing, and that this is an insane recapitulation and great time to buy at a $131 million market cap. Luke Belmar has made $30 million off PancakeSwap in the last bull cycle, and he has a new favorite token in this bull cycle. He says, Bitcoin will be worth $300,000 and you'll be mad you didn't buy at these prices. Act accordingly. Now, which token does he think is going to be down the end of the crypto whip that's going to go a little bit faster than Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin goes to 300K, it's about a 4x from here. He thinks Ton has about a 12x. So you get 3 times the leverage that you would on Bitcoin. Obviously, guys, more potential downside to these riskier bets. Don't be crazy, but just know that these are the leveraged bets, which means, as you've seen, when Bitcoin goes down, these are going to go down even further. If Bitcoin goes up, these are going to go up even higher. It's pretty simple, but it is riskier, so it depends on what your risk tolerance is. Luke Belmar says Ton, which was Telegram's official token, is about to be the recovery story that reignites the bull run. Pavel left Paris and is vocal regarding Ton more than ever. And this is the Toncoin down here. In this tweet right here, it says, a year ago, I told everyone that Ton and Telegram would revolutionize crypto. My thesis is quickly becoming a reality. Ton represents the underserved communities around the world because crypto is bigger than just the USA, and the Ton team knows it. $100 billion market cap is inevitable. What is the current market cap of Ton? Well, I told you it's got a 12x to go. I guess, I don't know if he's talking fully diluted there because then that'd be a 6x. But it's at an $8 billion market cap. And if you zoom out, it's had a nice strong pullback from $8 down to $3. This is where Belmar was still bullish on it. And again, you get to make your own decision. Are these guys just got lucky in the last bull market and we shouldn't be following them and they were wrong because now their money is cut in half? Or is this a good time to buy? I personally think it's a great time to buy, but I know that everybody's different, and that's why we all get different results. Now, the last person I want to touch on, and funny enough, this guy gets the most resistance, but I don't know, my intuition said he's probably the most right out of everybody, which is Murad. He says that Bitcoin will go to $200,000 plus. Again, all these people are so bullish on crypto, why most of the market is extremely bearish, which is a good sign. You know, when everyone was bullish saying that, oh, you're an idiot for thinking anything's going to go down, that's when things go down. When people say you're an idiot for thinking things are going to go up, there's likely when things are going to go up, or at least there's the highest asymmetric returns to actually get. There's less room for it to go down and way more room for it to go up. And Murad thinks there's so much room to go up that top memes will 200x from here, which is absolutely crazy. They'll turn 1 grand into 200 grand, or 200 grand into 40 mil. I don't know if that math's right. I believe it is, but I'm not going to check. Ilya says the prophecy is being fulfilled. Talking about Murad's #1 thesis, the SPX 6900. Murad actually retweeted this. This is why we're showing you here, which the prophecy is the SPX 6900 is the joke, satirical sort of finger up to the S&P 500, the traditional finance versus the modern finance, which is just a meme coin. And their goal is to flip the stock market. And this is a joke, but there is some truth to it that the SPX had gained 16% a day, while the top stocks were down 5 to 10% in just one day. And Murad says, look into the SPX 6900. It will be the #1 coin of this cycle. Watch this space. Now, Murad still holds about $20 million of meme coins, so he's got his money where his mouth is. US market performances as of market close April 4th, 2025. The S&P down 5%, the SPX 6900 up 21% in a day. And this is now anecdotal in my personal thoughts, but like, to think that the SPX would go up 21% a day on such a cataclysmic red day, you can only imagine what sort of daily volume and daily numbers would occur when the market does turn bullish. And again, that might be a week, that might be a year from now. But to think that it's not going to put up insane numbers when the market is bullish as well is a little bit delusional in my opinion. The SPX 6900 is currently had a nice pullback from $1.50 down to the 50 cents where it's currently sitting. And if you are bullish and you want to trade cryptos, come and use Archie. This is our Solana wallet where you can trade cryptos from your Telegram app. Highly secure, extremely fast, it's all on chain, and you can buy these tokens before they get listed on centralized exchanges. We have smart trading coming out in probably a week or two, where you can set stop losses and buy targets for it to automatically trade on your behalf based on the rules that you want to put into it. We have a full crypto exchange license, and you can access millions of tokens instantly. Come over to archibot.ai. I'll leave the link in the description for you. We're also going to be running some giveaways if you want to win tokens, meme coins for free just by using the app. Come and download Archibot and set yourself up a funded wallet. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.